Candlestick Park in San Francisco. The all-time greatest Green Bay Packers face the all-time San Francisco 49ers. Rosters and sliders are still being worked out in preparation for the all-time rosters franchise season. The greatest 53 Packers and the greatest 53 Niners. Tramon Williams from 2 yards deep. He's to the 30, and Andy Lee makes the stop at the 32-yard line. It was certainly a debate as to who the best Packer quarterback is, but Aaron Rodgers earns the nod as the team's #1 QB. Hall of Famers Brett Favre and Bart Starr are certainly capable of this #1 spot, but Rodgers, 9th on the all-time career passing yards list, earns the nod as the #1 QB. The first play of this incredible football game, Rodgers finds Hall of Famer James Lofton for the gain of 7. Haley makes the stop. The Green Bay offense with superstars everywhere, headlined by the two guys out wide, Don Hudson, the Hall of Fame receiver, and Sterling Sharp, who had a Hall of Fame start to his career and certainly has all the numbers to be in Canton. We'll see if he gets there at some point. He is the product out of South Carolina. Rodgers out of the gun. Over the middle, he completes to an aforementioned Sterling Sharp for the gain of 11. First down, Green Bay. Nick Rice in hand from beautiful Candlestick Park. 75 degrees for the all-time Packers and the all-time Niners. Rodgers out of the gun. Fires to his right, and that's knocked away. And with that, let's check out the San Francisco defense. Hall of Famers everywhere, headlined by Patrick Willis. Ronnie Lott, Leo Nomalelli, Dave Wilcox, and Jimmy Johnson round out the starting units for the San Francisco defense. The 49ers in their 78 seasons as a franchise in the National Football League have been the #1 defense 5 times in the NFL. Rodgers is hit as he throws. There's the tight end on a check down, and Kaufman gains 2. Strong start to the game for Aaron Rodgers against this brilliantly designed and certainly as talented as any San Francisco defense. It's 3rd down and 8 yards to go. They'll go run. Here's Green on a draw, and it caught the defense off guard. Gain of 15, and an Amon Green run, first of the game, is good enough for the Green Bay first down. Jim Taylor takes his spot. He is the listed #1 tailback. Green the #2. On first down, they'll give it to the Hall of Famer Taylor, and Aldon Smith wraps him up at the 32. 3 Hall of Fame backs on the Green Bay roster. Clark Hinkle and Tony Canadeo are the other Hall of Famers, and Aaron Jones, as Willis drills the running back for a loss. Aaron Jones rounds out the Green Bay running back group. The Packers converted the last 3rd down on the draw to Green. He'll flank Aaron Rodgers here and releases. Rodgers guns it into the end zone. And that pass is incomplete. Ronnie Lott got a hand on it for San Francisco. Green Bay's Mason Crosby is in for the 51-yard field goal. Out of the hold of Brett Favre. Here's the snap. Bart Starr will put it down, and the kick is good. A drive of nearly 4 minutes, and it ends with 3 points, courtesy of Mason Crosby. And now he'll run into it and belt the football away. End over end, deep kickoff to Sanders from a yard deep. He's wearing number 24. Frank Gore has his number 21 uniform. And he motors to the 27-yard line. That's where Joe Montana takes the field. The unquestioned #1 QB for the Niners, even though Steve Young, as the backup, also had a Hall of Fame career. Joe Montana, 22nd on the all-time passing list. And with 4 Super Bowls and so many great playoff moments, was arguably the greatest quarterback of all time before a guy like Tom Brady came around. Frank Gore gains about a yard. The San Francisco offense has maybe the best 1-2 tandem at wide receiver in NFL history. Jerry Rice combined with T.O. Terrell Owens, who played a good portion of his career with the Niners after a brilliant stint with Philadelphia. He played with basically a half dozen different teams at some point. Terrell Owens, Hall of Famer out of Chattanooga. Inside run to Gore, and Robinson wraps him up at the 30-yard line, a gain of about a yard. The Green Bay defense, Herb Adderley, Reggie White, Willie Davis, Henry Jordan, and Willie Wood. Many Hall of Fame guys from their Super Bowl run, led by maybe the best coach in NFL history, Vince Lombardi, with 3 championships in as many years, a couple of Super Bowls too in the middle of the 1960s. On a 4-man rush, a screen is knocked away by the helmet of Clay Matthews, and San Francisco suffers a 3 and out. Andy Lee checks in for the Niners punt. Lee drives this one deep. He got everything on this punt, all the way to Wood at the 21-yard line, and he is smoked at the 31. Joe Perry, the Hall of Famer, makes the stop. 2:56 to go in the first quarter from Candlestick Park. 3 receivers in at the 31-yard line. On the hash, Rodgers drops, and he'll take off and run. Here's Aaron Rodgers with plenty of room. And this is what makes him so dangerous as a quarterback, one of the all-time greats, a 12-yard run. When you sprinkle in his ability to move with the incredible arm that he has, Aaron Rodgers, if you just put together a quarterback in Madden, I would say there is no better prototype than Aaron Rodgers. An incredible all-around football player, Aaron Rodgers. It certainly is a shame he didn't win more in the postseason. Late in the first, 3-0 Green Bay. Rodgers fires to Kaufman at the 50, and he's pulled down to the 37 of San Francisco. A 22-yard gain to Paul Kaufman. First down, Green Bay. 3-time Pro Bowler out of Kent State, the #1 tight end for this offense. Rodgers from the 37, dances, throws, downfield to Sterling Sharp, and he's in for the touchdown. Sterling Sharp, one of the greatest receivers in NFL history. Yards per game as good as anybody all time. And he makes a big play for the offense. And with 1:08 to go in the first quarter out of Candlestick, out of the hold from Starr, Crosby hits the extra point. 10-0, Green Bay in the lead. And Sterling Sharp is off to a glistening start in this one. And they'll bring out the kickoff unit. Here's Crosby, who belts this one away. Deep kickoff to Kermit Alexander from 3 yards deep. He follows his blocks and is wrestled down at the 26-yard line. And after the 3 and out from their last possession, the Niners begin their second drive at their own 26. 10-0, the Green Bay lead. Glad you're with us. Nick Grice in hand. All-time Niners, all-time Packers on the draw inside. Gore gains 10. We're just short of a first down. Frank Gore, third on the all-time rushing list. 5-time Pro Bowler out of Miami, was a real workhorse for this offense in the 2000s. Montana with a deep drop, looks left and throws. That is knocked away by the leaping Anderson. Incomplete. 26 seconds left in the quarter. It's 3rd and inches. San Francisco would love to avoid a second consecutive 3 and out. Montana with a deep drop, scans the field, and he's going to take off. Not too often he used his feet for a first down, but he does there and takes a shot to close the quarter from Leroy Butler. We've played 8 minutes from Candlestick. Green Bay by 10. We're back to beautiful Candlestick Park in San Francisco. 10-0, Green Bay with the lead. First down to their own 37. Against the 5-man rush, Montana checks it down to Joe Perry in the fullback. Spilled just short of the marker. Clay Matthews in pursuit makes his second stop of the game. The 49ers show some hustle after the completion of Perry. He'll leave the game on a 2nd and 1. Inside handoff. Gore has a first down and powers his way to the Green Bay 45. What running early from Frank Gore. 2 first downs on this drive, and he powers his way to the Green Bay 45. Under 7 left in the half with a Packer lead 10-0. Play fake to Gore. Montana shoots it deep. There's George Kittle on the sideline. He makes the catch, but the officials say no, he's out of bounds. Not only do the Niners have maybe the best 1-2 tandem at receiver, but also at tight end with George Kittle and Vernon Davis. 2 Hall of Fame caliber tight ends during their day. Inside run, and Gore with a head of steam. Picks up 15 in the first down. 5 carries for 36 yards early in this one for Gore. 2 tight ends, that's Kittle and Davis on a first down. Snap at the 30 to Montana. He throws to Rice on the slant. He's got the first down. It's a gain of 17. The Green Bay defense has been helpless to the many great weapons for this 49ers offense. First down after the completion to Rice, and they'll run the ball with Gore, who is buried by Robinson at the 12. San Francisco has been the #1 offense in the NFL in 8 different seasons throughout their incredible all-time run as one of the NFL's blue-chip franchises. Second down from the 12, and Montana is dumped. Aaron Campman's got him for the game's first sack. And that'll back up the offense to 3rd down and 18. Out of the empty, here's Montana. Against a 4-man rush, he guns it into the end zone. Just a bit too far, or was it? Rice off of the deflection. He makes the catch for the touchdown. Let's check out that play again as Jerry Rice on the Herb Adderley deflection. The ball floats right into his hands, and he had both feet in. What a play for the San Francisco touchdown. And Robbie Gould, one of the greatest kickers in NFL history, on for the PAT out of the hold from Young, and it's right down Broadway to trim the Green Bay lead to 3. Jerry Rice with a first big play, and we expect more of that in this one. One of the greatest football players in NFL history, let alone the best receiver of all time. Alexander is down the ball for a Green Bay touchback. 4:32 left in the first half of this one. 10-7 Packers. First down at the 20. Rodgers throws a screen. There is Don Hudson on the left side, and he is spilled at the 25-yard line. All-time greatest Packers, all-time greatest Niners. And arguably these are the 2 best franchises in NFL history. A total of 9 Super Bowl championships between the 2. Rodgers on a deep drop. He launches it deep downfield. He's got a man out there, but it's just a bit underthrown. Not too often Rodgers underthrows a receiver, but that still was about a 65-yard pass. James Lofton was the intended target. Green Bay would love to avoid a 3-and-out here, leading by 3. Rodgers with time. Flips it over the middle to Green inside. He makes the catch, takes a big hit from Willis, but hangs on to it for the Green Bay first down. Amon Green, 4-time Pro Bowler out of Nebraska, the 3rd down back for Green Bay. Inside run to Taylor, and he is smoked for a loss. The blitzing Patrick Willis with a huge hit on the running back. A 3-yard loss. He is the real captain of that defense, Patrick Willis, at the middle linebacker position, product out of Ole Miss. Rodgers throws to Taylor out of the backfield, who's run out of bounds on the gain of 6.
Gain of 6 on the play.
2:35 left in the first half of this one. 10-7, Green Bay in the lead. 3rd down and 7 yards to go. Over the middle to Don Hudson, right at the marker. It looked like he got the first down, but the officials bring out the chain gang, and they do give him the first. Not by much. But as we cross the 2-minute warning, that is a Green Bay first down. 10-7 edge for the Packers. On the rush outside, Rodgers is taken down for a San Francisco sack. First of the game from Leo Nomaleni. 2nd and 18. Rodgers flips it over the middle to Hudson, and Alexander brings him down. As he gains the sack yardage back, it's now 3rd and a long 9. Snap at the 44-yard line. Rodgers is going to take off again, and the quarterback slides to the 49er 43. First down, and Green Bay will run another no huddle. Rodgers fires into the end zone, and that pass is reeled in by Sharp for a touchdown. There's a look at one of the best arms in football, and Aaron Rodgers beats the defense. Sterling Sharp with the grab and the score. And they'll bring in the extra point group to add to the Green Bay lead, and that kick from Crosby is good. 1:19 left in the first half. The Sterling Sharp touchdown extends the Green Bay lead at 17-7. And now here comes the kickoff. Crosby drives this one deep. End over end, it is returnable. Here's Sanders from a yard in the end zone, and he won't get much past the 14-yard line. And that is where San Francisco begins its next drive. This team is loaded with talent, but the 49ers are struggling to keep pace with Green Bay in this first half. Excellent game for Aaron Rodgers. Kittle out of the backfield. Stiff arm to the 20. He's taken down to the 24-yard line. Niners will run a no huddle here with about a minute left in the half. And a timeout's been called by San Francisco after the 9-yard pickup. 1:01 left in the first half of this one. 17-7 Green Bay. Montana with a deep drop this time. Launches. He had a man out there, but it was just a bit too far out of bounds. Terrell Owens was the intended target. The all-time 49ers and the all-time Packers, arguably the two greatest franchises in NFL history. Now, of course, the Steelers, the Patriots, the Cowboys, there are a number of other teams that are every bit as good as these clubs. But when you look at the numbers, it's hard to argue these two as being the premier franchises of the National Football League. On a third down, Montana is picked off by Woodson. Intended for Owens, and he makes his first big mistake. Woodson there for the game's first takeaway. And the Packers will take over at the 27-yard line. Here's a look at the play again. And just a horrible decision. Charles Woodson read that one all the way. And Green Bay will take the field at the 27 of the Niners with 52 seconds left in the first half. Taylor is the deep back. On first down, they'll run it inside with Jim Taylor, who hurdles to the 25-yard line. An outstanding effort from Jim Taylor as the run gains about 6. 47 seconds to go in the half. Rodgers fires into the end zone for James Lofton. It's a touchdown. The Packers are blowing out the Niners on the road. James Lofton gets right by Deion Sanders. You don't see that very much. He's wearing the number 24, by the way, with, as mentioned, Frank Gore sporting the number 21. But with 43 seconds left in the half, Green Bay takes a 24-7 lead. And check out the numbers today from Aaron Rodgers. 80% with 176 yards and 3 touchdowns. He has had the better of Joe Montana today. With just over 2 quarters left in this one, Montana has his work cut out for him. Sanders squirts through a hole and is taken down by Forrester at the 26-yard line. San Francisco down 24-7, takes the field at its own 26. Empty formation for the Packers. Green Bay facing that offense. It's a tunnel screen, and Rice is taken down for a loss. Second charge timeout to Bill Walsh, the all-time 49ers head coach. He's got 1 remaining. Now the Packers lost some concentration. That should be offsides. Dave Robinson with the call. And they'll replay second down as Gore gained 5 on the run. 24-7 lead. Nick Rice joining you from a sun-soaked San Francisco. Here's Montana on second down. Guns it into traffic. Owens rips it away from the defense. And he's got the first down with a few seconds left before the end of the first half. Timeout called, and now as they break the huddle, the Niners have their work cut out for them here, out of timeouts and still about 20 yards away from field goal range. Montana on a first down. Shoots it over the middle. There's Wilson with his first reception. He's wrapped up at the Green Bay 44. Niners are running no huddle here. They better be careful. They could run out of time. Snap at 7. Montana throws. Kittle over the middle. Makes the catch, but it's too little too late for points here for the Niners as the first half has come to a close. We've played 2 quarters from Candlestick Park. Led by Aaron Rodgers, the all-time Packers on the road have a dominant first half performance and lead the game by 17. Welcome back to beautiful Candlestick Park in San Francisco. 24-7, the lead for Green Bay. Here's the kickoff to begin the second half. It's driven into the end zone, and Deion Sanders has downed the ball for a touchback. Nick Rice in hand, as mentioned, rosters and sliders are still to be determined in this football game as we're putting together the greatest 60 players of each team's franchise, the best 60, and then we're going to use the preseason to trim those 60 players down to 53. It's going to be an incredibly entertaining preseason in preparation for the regular season, where 7 guys get chopped off from every roster, not literally, just 7 guys get removed from every roster in preparation for the regular season, where the best 53 players are on every team's franchise, and then those 32 teams compete in the Madden 12 regular season, and the winner is determined the greatest franchise in NFL history. Montana today, 67% completions, 117 yards with a touchdown and an interception. There's the first down throw to Jerry Rice. The all-time 49ers have this incredible offense. So if there's a team that could win it all, it absolutely is San Francisco. The numbers, they're as good as anybody, the all-time Niners. And I'll get to how great the all-time Packers are in a minute, but San Francisco is tied for the most playoff wins in NFL history with 37. Tied for third with 5 Super Bowls. Only Pittsburgh and New England have more with 6. And then San Francisco as a franchise has won 54.7% of their games. That is tied for 7th in NFL history. So this team is very good. Hall of Famers everywhere. Nearly 24 Hall of Fame players on this all-time 49ers roster. There's a look at maybe the greatest of them all in Joe Montana. 78 seasons as an NFL franchise, that is San Francisco. And it should be noted for the all-time rosters franchise that we're going to do very soon as Wilson makes the grab for the first down. It should be noted that the 49ers, the Packers playing here today, it should be noted that not only is there going to be that preseason roster cut day, but once the regular season begins, there's going to be a decent amount of injuries, and it's going to play out exactly how it would. So, you know, guys that are very injury prone have low injury ratings, and then, of course, the higher guys have much higher injury ratings. And Joe Montana, for as great as he was, this was a guy that missed a lot of time due to injuries, which is why a lot of folks also argue Tom Brady is the go-to. It's just a little tiebreaker factor. Jerry Rice with another catch. Joe Montana missed quite a few games throughout his run as one of the best. Steve Young did a great job filling in for Joe Montana when he would go down, but Tom Brady was as durable as any, and we'll see how that plays out, the all-time rosters franchise, but injuries are going to be on, so there's going to be guys missing important moments throughout this season, so the depth of these teams are going to be certainly put into question for this all-time rosters franchise. A first down pickup there to Jerry Rice with under 5 left in the third quarter. But what I'm looking forward to the most is that preseason. And we'll get to see injuries will be off during the preseason, so you get a chance to see everybody going into week 1 of the regular season. But I am ultra excited to see, okay, we've got a quarterback battle going on in Baltimore. For example, Joe Flacco was the legendary playoff performer, but Lamar Jackson has the MVP unanimously that Joe Flacco didn't get. So there is a quarterback battle that is going to be determined in the preseason of the all-time rosters franchise. I couldn't tell you who the best quarterback in Raven history is. Is it Jackson? Is it Flacco? Rice with a deep catch and a touchdown. Jerry Rice, one of the greatest receivers in NFL history, beats the defense of Charles Woodson. The extra point is good as the Niners go 4 minutes and 6 seconds, capping off the long drive with the Jerry Rice touchdown. The Hall of Famer with 7 grabs for 96 yards and 2 touchdowns. 3:54 left in the third. Here is the deep kickoff, and that one sails into the end zone for Alexander. Jair Alexander, that is. He's wrestled down by Lee at the 23-yard line. For instance, here's a look at these two franchises, and I'd be so glad to show you the guys that are going to be added to the 53-man roster for the preseason, and then they're going to battle some of the fringe guys for the final 53-man roster. For instance, as the Green Bay Packers have the ball on offense right now, their starting fullback is Hall of Famer Clark Hinkle, but John Kuhn will be on the preseason roster, and depending how well they play, Kuhn could take over Hinkle for the fullback position. At running back, well, it was a tough choice between Aaron Jones and Ryan Grant, so they're going to battle it out. Tony Canadeo also might get pushed out by Grant. Max McGee at receiver, Billy Houghton at tight end. A.J. Hawk, interception from Kermit Alexander, and he grabbed it with one hand. And the Niners are back on the board. Kermit Alexander with the pick six. The 49ers were getting blown out by Green Bay. But then, all of a sudden, Kermit Alexander, the defense, have come alive. And with the extra point, our score is 24-21 Packers. First play of the day for Kermit. It's a pick six. And here comes the deep kickoff, and Wood has down the ball for a touchback. The all-time 49ers are trying to iron out their final 53 as we look at their defense. Keena Turner and Ahmad Brooks are going to be on the preseason spot at linebacker to try and fight their way to the 53. A couple of guys would have to come out for them to join. Rogers shoots it deep, and that is reeled in by Sharp, but he's out of bounds. Also, Eric Davis, an incredible cornerback. He's going to battle for it. Offensively for the Niners is a very interesting preseason battle. Christian McCaffrey is going to compete against Garrison Hurst for the final running back spot of the Niners' 53-man roster. And then at fullback, Kyle Juszczyk is going to face Hall of Famer Joe Perry. The winner of that battle in the preseason is going to earn the one fullback position for San Francisco. Screen to Taylor, and he takes a tumble to the 24-yard line on the gain of 4. At wide receiver, the 49ers, as mentioned, a great 1-2 punch, but they are incredible down the board. San Francisco, joining Jerry Rice and Terrell Owens, the two Hall of Famers, are Billy Wilson, Dwight Clark, and Gene Washington. Then Dave Parks and Deebo Samuel, and maybe even Brandon Ayuk are going to be on the preseason. And then whoever wins that battle is going to earn the title as a member of the 49ers 53-man roster. It is so incredibly tight for the 49ers that a lot of those guys are going to get an opportunity, and you just don't know who's going to win the battle for the final 53-man roster. And then some of the guys that are shoo-ins to make the 53, I talked about it earlier with Lamar Jackson and Joe Flacco. They have an opportunity to earn the number 1 spot at a certain position. So everything on the depth chart, from the number 1 guy to the 53rd man on the roster, they are all competing for roster positions. A couple of other interesting notes as I just get so nostalgic of these great players, and they all come together to fight for the 53-man roster. That's what I'm super excited about, the preseason for the all-time rosters franchise, as Frank Gore on the draw picks up 11 on the first down. A legendary receiver on this channel, Johnny Knox, is going to try and figure out a way from the preseason, earn his way onto the regular season roster, joining Willie Gault for the preseason there. The Chargers, all-time Chargers, have maybe the best quarterback room in the game. Dan Fouts is listed as their number 1 guy, but Phillip Rivers is nipping on his heels, and John Hadl, and it was very tough to choose John Hadl over Justin Herbert, legendary quarterback of the LA Chargers today. John Hadl and Justin Herbert, whoever plays better is going to earn his spot into the Chargers' 3rd quarterback position. Also for the Colts, a very good quarterback room with Peyton Manning and Johnny Unitas. Burt Jones, a former NFL MVP, and Andrew Luck are going to try and earn a final spot into the 53-man roster, as this franchise holds 3 quarterbacks and 4 running backs. Dallas, they also have a quarterback quandary. Tony Romo is going to play against Dak Prescott for the 3rd and final quarterback position, with Roger Staubach and Troy Aikman as the 1 and 2 at the quarterback position, respectively. We just saw an incredible Super Bowl run for Jalen Hurts. He is a quarterback that is fighting for the final 53-man roster spot for Philadelphia, as Montana's end zone shot is knocked away by Willie Wood. Terrell Owens was the intended target. Also at quarterbacks, Phil Simms is vying for a quarterback spot there with the Giants. Bob Waterfield with the Rams. Jim Zorn with the Seahawks. And Tommy Kramer with the Vikings. Those are just a few of the many incredible position battles underway in the greatest teams franchises preseason. We'll see plenty of reserves throughout there as they try and vie for the final 53. And then, of course, the regular season begins, and that's where all the fun begins. Everything from injuries to different things. End of the 3rd quarter of this all-time game. Green Bay leads it 24-21. 8 minutes left. 2 of the greatest franchises in NFL history. Green Bay with the lead, 24-21. Rodgers begins the 4th quarter with a deep pass over the post. Lofton gets nailed. Huge hit from Willis, but Lofton gains 13 and a Green Bay first down. The all-time Packers have played 103 years as an NFL franchise, winning 57.8% of their games, second best percentage in the National Football League, just behind Dallas. They also have 36 playoff wins, tied for third in the NFL, does the Green Bay Packers. As this pass to Hudson, reeled in on the sideline, the officials come in and say he's in bounds. Fourth grab of the game for Hudson. Green Bay as a franchise have 4 Super Bowls on 5 appearances. The one time they didn't get it was the John Elway and the Broncos. Aldon Smith, another tackle for loss for the sensational edge rusher for San Francisco. The Niners have quite a few of them in the present day, with Nick Bosa being the other. Third down and 7 yards. With under 7 left in the game, the all-time Packers cling to a 24-21 lead. They were up by 17 at the half, but the Niners have cut into the lead with the Rice touchdown and the Kermit Alexander pick six. 3rd and 7. On the 4-man rush, Rodgers completes to Kaufman, but that is a 6-yard gain when they needed 7, and the offense will be forced to punt. Navarro Bowman joining Patrick Willis with an incredible 1-2 punch at the linebacker position. He makes the stop for the Niners. Tim Mastay, the punter out of Kentucky, will get rid of this one for the Packers. He takes the snap, and Mastay drives this one downfield. A spiraling punt, and that bounces into the end zone. The Green Bay touchback. This is where Joe Montana, the Niners, retake the field, down by a field goal. Glad you're with us. Nick Rice on hand from a beautiful Candlestick Park in San Francisco. All-time Packers lead the game by 3. 5-man delay rush. Montana scrambles to his right and runs right into the arms of Hall of Famer Reggie White. And the Packers defense makes a huge play again on Joe Montana. That is the team's 2nd quarterback sack. Reggie White, Hall of Fame career with both Philadelphia and Green Bay, helped the team put together its best club in franchise history in 1996. Reggie White and Leroy Butler, the 2 Hall of Famers on that defense, are the 2 starters for the all-time Green Bay Packers defense. A defense that has been the NFL's best in so many years. Screen to Gore on the right side. Gore gets a block and is nailed at the 28-yard line. He gains the sack yardage back and then some. A 13-yard completion and just short of a 49ers first down. Green Bay has been the NFL's #1 defense 17 different seasons. So they've not only been a great defense, they've been the NFL's best for nearly a 5th of every season in the NFL's great history. Inside run, and Gore is swallowed up by Ray Nitschke. He was a big proponent of so many #1 defenses in the back of the day with Vince Lombardi, and Ray Nitschke, with the play, forces the 49ers into a punt. And we'll get a chance to check out the leg of one of the best punters in NFL history. He is 7th in career punt average. That is Andy Lee, the 3-time Pro Bowler out of Pittsburgh. Lee waits for the snap, and he's got it. And Lee drives this one downfield, a wobbling punt on the hash, taken by Wood at the 25-yard line, and Smith knocks him down at the 32. 3:56 to play in regulation. Green Bay leads it 24-21. Packers will bring out 3 receivers. Rodgers with a deep drop, looking, rolling right. Rodgers is going to run again and gets walloped by Dave Wilcox. Another sack, his 2nd of the game. Now, this defense is loaded at the linebacker position with Dave Wilcox, Navarro Bowman, and Patrick Willis. And as mentioned earlier, the preseason is going to determine if Ahmad Brooks is going to be a backup for them. Keena Turner will also be on the preseason roster, vying for a linebacker spot on this incredible San Francisco defense. The all-time Niners are known for their superstar talent on offense, led by Rice and Montana, but the defense might be even better overall. Taylor taken down by McDonald for the loss of 3. All-time rosters and sliders still being worked out with the regular season of this incredible franchise, a franchise rarely put together on paper and never put together in real life. We're going to do that this coming year with Charger Do 95. The greatest players of every franchise. And it was painfully and meticulously put together by yours truly. 1,696 players of a roster put together. That is the regular season roster. And a total of 1,920 players put together for the preseason. That's just how deep this franchise will be. So with 2 minutes left in regulation, Green Bay's going to punt it. Tim Mastay, the product out of Kentucky, will send this one away. Mastay takes the snap and belts this one downfield. Reeled in by McElhenney on a hop at the 23-yard line. And he's spilled by number 32, Clark Hinkle, the Hall of Famer out of Bucknell. And that is where San Francisco, who had to punt on their last drive, they have the ball back, needing 68 yards for the lead and about 40 yards to enter field goal range. That would tie it. Gorin to block, Montana to throw. Rolling right, Montana can't get by Reggie White. That is his second sack of the quarter. And now San Francisco scrambles back to the line. It's a no huddle. The Niners' Billy Wilson late to get on. Montana throws deep to Owens, who makes a behind-the-back catch and is out of bounds on a gain of 17. Here's a look at Robbie Gould, known as a legendary Chicago Bear, but his best days was actually in San Francisco, all-time 8th in NFL history for career field goal percentage. That is Robbie Gould, the kicker out of Penn State, warming up on the sideline. After that grab earlier in the drive by Terrell Owens, it's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. And if anyone can deliver in this late game situation, it is Joe Montana. Packers bring 4. Montana throws short to Wilson, who gets by one defender and is stacked up at the 43-yard line. No huddle for San Francisco. The Packers defense, they are reeling right now. Montana guns it just a bit too far for Billy Wilson, that is, 6-time Pro Bowler out of San Jose State. 1:12 left in regulation. This, their last chance. It's 3rd and 2. The Niners have been so good on third downs. They need the 41-yard line to move the chains. Montana with a deep drop this time. He looks, launches the ball to Rice on the sideline, and it looks like he was out of bounds, and they say, yes, just a foot out. And that forces the Niners into a 4th and 2 with 1:06 left in the ballgame. Packers threaten blitz. Gore's the deep back. They'll feed it to him inside, and he's taken down by Davis to end the game. Well, no, scratch that. Not quite end the game, but make it very tough for the Niners. They're going to need a 3-and-out forced by the defense first. First down, Kaufman motions inside. Inside run to Taylor, and he is nailed at the 49-yard line, and a timeout's called by San Francisco. Sliders and rosters still being worked out. Thank you so much for joining us. Charger Do 95 is going to put together the all-time rosters franchise. The season begins in a matter of moments. After another Niner timeout, it's 3rd and 3. First down wins the game for the Packers. And on 3rd down, they'll run it with Taylor on a draw. He gets by the defense. First down, Green Bay, and they have won the game. All-time Packers win it by field goal.